Hey everyone, Senraikai here. Today I'm going to be watching the third episode of Munou na Nana. And last episode, Nana set her sights on her new target, being Shibusawa, I think his name is. I have trouble with his name. I mix his name up with Nakajima's a lot near the end of the last episode's discussion. Very awkward stuff. But, he's dead now, probably, possibly, so I guess he's not around to be too mad at me. But, basically we got to get a good insight into exactly Nana's process, because she did similar stuff with Nakajima, right? But we didn't really get her monologues because it's supposed to be a secret for the audience that she was, conspiring behind the scenes to kill the talented. But yeah, episode 2 there was no attempt to hide it, so we got to see the full on process, which I really enjoyed. But seeing her kind of flip back and forth between the facade and her real objective, her real personality. But basically just taking notes on people, figuring them out, figuring out what they can do, how their powers work, exploit their weaknesses, and eventually, hopefully, kill them from her perspective. I also got the whole full-on backstory about exactly how she got the mission, about the talented, well, not exactly how, but when they came about, what happened when they came about, how the government responded to it. So we got some good insight there. We didn't get too much on Kyoya, honestly. We only really learned two things about him. One, he has a sister, and two, he has a hair fetish, which, valuable stuff to figure out. Sure, but yeah. So this episode, I figure we're either going to get a new target for Nana to kill, or we're going to shift focus over to Kyoya and get a little bit on his backstory. Because like I said, I'm pretty sure they are supposed to be kind of like opposing factions or representatives of opposing factions. At least that's the theory I'm running with until the show gives me more information, which hopefully it does in this episode. So that's all I really have to say before I get into it. So before I get into it, though, just the usual, if you liked the video, click the like button, support me on Patreon for early access, and also the picture-in-picture version of the show, access to that too. But let's jump on in. All right, so 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, is that? Oh, yeah, that is Kyoya. So he is investigating, the fall. So he is so... Okay. Okay. I guess falling off a cliff's no big deal for him. So, if that's the case, then yeah, Nakajima definitely still alive. It's clearly just a quick little splash off the cliff. Munou na Nana. I actually didn't notice until now, but the final knot actually has some, like, blood on it. That's a nice touch. You have no idea how much I've been thinking about the hair fondling since last episode. Like, he was just stroking that hair so much, I was honestly surprised that nothing came out. Still, I'm more of a sheep girl. That's what I'm going to call her. It even shows a dangling rope in the opening, too. The needle, the dripping needle might be the most terrifying shot in the whole opening. Almost gives me Higurashi vibes. I mean, a couple of the shots do, but... Yeah, we got a little bit of Seiya last episode. But he exists in the final shot, so I assume he's not going to die anytime soon. The talented versus the talentless. Yeah, you guys have to be getting worried by now, surely. As more and more of your friends disappear. Yes, thank you. Somebody's suspicious. I mean, not Kyoya, but at least we're starting to think of something's amiss. Kabedon. Wet Kabedon. How much you want to just ravish me? she could tell the angry aura emanating from her. But she can't, though. Okay. It's quite the thing to notice. But, yeah. The same kind of cold reading that she does. Yeah, I mean, he just dived in the water, so he's gonna be more wet than anyone else that just only had to face off against the rain. Or could you at least Kabedon me? Maybe stroke my other twin tail, you know, even me out? So I take it he didn't find Nakajima if he came back empty-handed. I never would have noticed a half and half thing. I wouldn't have. That's why I'm not a detective. Is it unused, though? Do I want to know what that is? Okay, I really don't want to know what that is. Might be what came out of the twin tail. Hey, kitty cat. So clearly a good guy. Let my cat out real quick. He still has it on his head. Finally, somebody said something. Are you asking me out on a date? I was not expecting that, I'll be honest. For one thing, you don't really get that kind of line from an edgelord seeming character to begin with, much less for Nana or, you know. Yeah, you can't read him, can you? Oh, was that a doll? What was that? What is this room? I mean, it's just like a straight up, you know, bachelor hangout kind of bedroom, you know? Like, I'm not sure the best way to describe it is, but yeah, it's a cool room. I assume the game's a reference to Bomberman. Also, I should have looked at the titles of the books. I missed my chance to. He invites a girl over to play video games. Let's see. I'll have to go back later and try to look at the books. It's almost like she's good at manipulating people. The fact that he's saying this in such a serious way, it's just kind of hilarious. You know, at his age. Yeah, you do kind of have that, yeah, scary aura. Thank you. You know, tell us how you really feel. I think... Okay. Aura Tsuit... I'm gonna look at that word. Yeah, Aura Tsuit... yeah, I'm not sure what that word means. I mean, if he doesn't even know the word, I guess I shouldn't blame myself for not knowing it. Yeah, he is a hard one to read, isn't he? So I've heard. PC game making? Wow, okay. Actually, he was into making his own games. Going somewhere to look for his sister definitely sounds like a familiar plot point to me. Okay, that's why he's interested. Because it's part of a trend that that might connect to his sister. I'm not sure what they are at this point to them. It looked very serious. Yeah, almost like it's more of a containment place than a training facility. The Humanity Girl. That's a name. Jinrui Shoujo. I think is how you read that. You know, of all things I was expecting this episode, this whole thing was not one of them. Her going over to his room to play video games and become friends. Ja. Hand holding? Already? I mean, we just met. I feel like he might not, but always something to strive for. Ah, the watch. The watch is recovered. That's what he got for jumping off the cliff. So he did get something. Enough to know for sure he was there. Even if you don't find the body, that's pretty close, evidence-wise. So now what do you do, Nana? You know, last time somebody went with her to investigate Nakajima, they died. And your hair is just too far away. I'm waiting for her to back up. I thought we were friends, Nana. That's a very detective sort of line. Such an unlucky number, too. It doesn't tell me a lot. Never underestimate the power of a man with a lot of free time on his hands. Oh, that's a good point, too. Yeah, if it breaks, then you know when it... Yeah, you can really break down the time that it happened. The watch, it really is an even better hint than I thought it was. Yeah, because you killed him. It wasn't. It certainly is. It's a great watch. They probably have. Yeah, they don't have those. I'm pretty sure a lot of what's in the textbooks just is not true. It's alright. Probably should. It's not a reason to not do it. The worst person to help him. Or the best, depending on how you look at it. I'll push you off the cliff. I feel like he's probably talentless. I love people calling her out on that. Because we know it's not true. Maybe he's a mind reader. She does, though. Man, I really can't tell how much what he says is genuine, how much he's, you know, playing her. Like, I don't know how much he knows, how much he suspects. Like, it's just hard to read. Physical. No kidding. Damn. No choice, huh? Do it yourself. Thanks, guys. Yeah, like, it was no big deal for him. Okay, that's good to know. Because having the limitations or uh, drawbacks for powers always makes it more interesting. But I don't think we've been given enough hints to guess it ourselves as the audience. Unfortunately, the audacity of this girl. Of course. Yeah, Mr. Teacher Person, what do we do? Of course you would say that. I mean, it is necessary so they know to be on guard against someone trying to kill them. Like, you could start having a buddy system where no one's left alone. How do those connect? Oh yeah, there was a cat scratch and all that, wasn't there? Somewhere I can follow you. How clever. Yeah, Fua Fua. Does he have a food-related talent? I don't know, just a weird focus on the milk. Somebody being a sneaky little sneaker. Yeah, ironic, and my cat's also meowing. But I can't just keep letting him in and out when I'm trying to record a video. That is the biggest problem right there, why I think Kyoya can't quite figure it out, doesn't suspect her as much as he should. Okay, not everyone can have an advantage. Okay. Yeah, because there was a bit of emphasis on expiration dates. He's about to blow up. Yeah, like halfway through that turn, it clicked in my head. Okay, I don't think he's dead just because he's pretty important. But oh, that does look painful. There's no way he's dead though. Oh, well, okay, not dead yet at least. Because she did it. Hopefully, he can figure that out. Ask the important questions. Don't feel too relieved. But she didn't. That look on her face. Oh, 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 that was so cool. That whole thing. And if you can't figure it out, that means you're a liar about your talent. Did you get all that? Oh, wow, that whole scene. I couldn't imagine a better way to end off the episode. Oh. Man, her voice acting is so good, too. I was about to mention that earlier, but yeah, the way she can go from the fua usual voice to the more serious, dark voice. But especially right there, like, man, I can actually feel the emotion. So yeah, really good voice acting for sure. Yeah, that was probably one of the coolest scenes so far. See, they get to just pet the sheep. It's not fair. I want to pet the sheep. One of the Gyaru would be ever be important. Healing. So is that somebody's power? Or are we talking more emotional? I don't know. But, okay. Okay. That was the third episode of Munou Nana. The show continues to be very interesting, very entertaining. So, this episode, we did get focused on Kyoya, which I was expecting / hoping for. We got the Rain, figuring out the couple people who are the couple, you know, because they were only each of them was only half wet. So that was a bit of our beginning deductive reasoning from our brilliant Kyoya. You know, the guy that has seaweed just left on his head as he walks around the school. You know, that Kyoya. But yeah, this episode he decided he wants to be friends with Nana, right? I mean, why not? She's fun, cute girl, popular, friendly. You know, if you don't understand the other side of her, that's how she comes across. So why wouldn't you want to be friends with her, right? Invites her over to play video games. I don't know why I find that so funny, but it's just, you know, it's just the kind of thing that somebody would do, you know, if they're not good at making friends. Just, hey, girl, do you want to be friends? Want to come back to my place? I got some old retro console video games we can play. I don't know, it resonates with me. But we also had that one doll. I don't think that ever was actually important to the scene, but I want to go back to it. I think it was, yeah, a little bit for the D-bag bit. Yeah, the doll, I'm going to assume the doll is his sister's. That seems a bit more likely than he bought a doll because he likes dolls. I'm gonna go with it being his sister's doll, one of the last things he has to remember her by. You know, it was probably left behind after she disappeared. So that's what I'm gonna go with. But we also have some of the books in the background of that same shot. I can't tell if the title's supposed to be a reference to something. Because I mean, it has a na in it, the same way Munou Nana has a na, you know, a grammatical na. But yeah, I don't really the title doesn't seem familiar at all to me. But she didn't want to play with the doll. Very, very sad. But you know, it was an alright doll. But he did not enjoy being called the D-bag, that is for sure. But yeah, we basically get to see the two of them, you know, hanging out. And yeah, she's clearly talented if she came here to receive training, right? So I don't think we ever found out her talent, though. I don't believe so. There was Humanity Girl, which is one thing that was shown up here. See, yeah, I don't think I recognize any of these books. Usotsuki and Nakimi. No, it doesn't sound familiar. Let's see. Michito no Dai. Yeah, let me know if any of these are referenced to anything, because I don't quite get them. Get any other references. Some of these are hard to read, because the text is so small. Say Ichinino-san, Shikureto Menba, secret member. Is that what that says back there? But yeah, I'm at 7 minutes 47 seconds is the frame that I'm looking at. But yeah, the one title is mostly blocked. I just see the Coco. But yeah, none of them seem too familiar to me. But you know, maybe somebody can let me know if there's any references there to anything else. But yeah, basically Kyoya, his sister disappeared, so he is 100% detective mode, wants to figure out what's going on here. He thinks that the situation with Nakajima could be somewhat related, you know, so we have that. Now, of course, we also have, I'm never gonna remember his name. Suakawa. I have it up here for a reason. Shibusawa, yes. Shibusawa has also disappeared. I will never remember his name, but I will always remember him as a person. Yeah, there's also that too. So from his perspective, a lot of shady stuff going on here. He knows somebody's a culprit, somebody's behind it. He just doesn't know who it is. You know, it's kind of hard for him to suspect Nana because, you know, she does seem like such a happy, good-natured person. In addition to the fact that she seemingly doesn't really have any motive, right? She's just another member of the school getting her training, you know, another talented. But the truth is she's talentless. She's talentless Nana, you know, title drop, right? and she's there on a mission to kill people. So yeah, that is her motive, right? So he doesn't know that though, but he's getting there, right? He's kind of getting reason to kind of doubt her ability to read minds. And if she can't read minds, that means she lied about at least having that specific talent. But there's not really a lot of reason to lie about having your talent, unless really only two reasons. Either one, you're embarrassed by your talent. Like, let's say your talent is, I don't know, to change the color of your panties. Just something silly, not useful, embarrassing, something like that. So you want to keep that a secret, or that you don't have a talent and you're there for some other reason besides the training. And if you're there for some other reason behind the training, your motivations become very suspect very quickly. So, whether or not she can actually read minds is a very big deal from the concept of Kyoya. And he's definitely starting to doubt that. We had a bit at the end where he told her about his, weakness, right? So everything about that scene implies to me that he's not convinced that she can really read minds, right? And he's kind of calling her bluff. But yeah, either way, as she said, he's definitely way more dangerous than Nakajima as far as her goals. Especially if he's immortal, but yeah. He did recover the watch. That is a big deal, because not only does that prove that Nakajima was there, right, but specifically what time he fell off the cliff. So if you can do any kind of trace back about where he was, right, you can figure things out. And of course, he was with Nana not long before this, so there's plenty of reasons to pile up about why it could be Nana. So yeah, it's not Nana. You're in trouble. Like he is pretty much on your heels, like figuring out that you're behind this. So you gotta do something. And your usual strategy of just killing people that are inconvenient for you, that might not work so well, because he's immortal. Again, you have to, he says he's immortal, right? And we saw something that could be explained by him being immortal, but just because those two things happen doesn't mean it's necessarily true. You always have to take everything everyone says in the show with a grain of salt. It could be, rather than immortal, he has just fire immunity, right? Or he's immunity to certain types of damage, right? Because that could be a thing, and that's a far reach from that to literal immortality, right? So there is other explanations for why he was fine after that, right? It could be just, the healing was the name of the title for next episode. It could be that his ability is just healing, so unless he gets instant fatal level damage, he'll just heal it, which is still pretty good, don't get me wrong, but that could be a thing too. Like, as long as he survives the initial blow, he'll live. But like, if he gets his head cut off or something like that, there's probably no healing past that, right? Like, it could be anything that the body could naturally heal over time could be healed, but anything that can't be healed naturally by the body, won't be healed at all. Like, per se, an arm getting chopped off, right? That wouldn't kill you, unless you bleed out, but you would never naturally grow an arm back, right? So that could be a thing too. Like, burns that would eventually heal will just heal quickly. So I'm just throwing out my speculation here. Obviously, don't confirm or deny any of that in the comments. I don't want to be spoiled, but just kind of, throwing out my thoughts. We did talk to the teacher about it, although it doesn't seem like much is going to come of that, which is to be expected, This kind of thing, these kind of anime, the students are the ones that matter. They're the ones that get things done, right? So can't really expect too much on that front. I was definitely curious of what exactly Kyoya's ability was, because I noticed there was something going on with the fruit, like there was a label, there was something about that, then they lingered on the milk for longer than would make sense. So I was like, there's some connection to this and his ability, although it's not true. It's connected to his disability, like literally the opposite. The inability to smell, which would be very inconvenient, but that is, a real life thing. I remember watching an episode of Scrubs where they made a mistake medically and a guy lost his sense of smell. So, yeah, it can definitely happen, but I think he mentioned he was without smell from the day he was born. Like, could you imagine that? Like, never even knowing what a smell is? People talk about, hey, this rose smells wonderful. And you're like, sure, I guess. I don't know what that means, but I'll take your word for it. Like, that would definitely suck. Of course, you'd have the advantage of not having to smell bad things, but I feel like most people wouldn't think that would be a good trade-off. But yeah, we definitely learned a lot about Kyoya this episode, right? We can't, know for sure some of the things he said is true or not, like the immortality thing, but either way, we learned stuff like the smell. That's a pretty concrete thing we learned. But yeah, the whole scene from when he came out of the fire and grabbed your leg, her reaction to it, the look on her face, her tone of voice, the panic, not sure what to do. Him just there, burnt up, the fire behind him. We get to see him like healing, you know, kind of calling her out on some things. Ending off with like telling her his supposed weakness mentally, which didn't actually tell her anything because she can't actually read minds. It was all so good. And this final line from her I want to listen to again. Oh, it's so good. What's the word? Abaita, I think she says. Yeah, abaita, whatever. But like the way she says the abaita parts where you can really feel the emotion in the voice acting, like it's so good. There's good voice acting, and then there's like good voice acting where you can like really feel the emotion in it, and I think she got that across really well with that line. Because at this point, yeah, she really sees him as a threat, sees him as an enemy. There's no doubt about that. But so yeah, I think that's about everything I wanted to say on the episode. Like, I mean, the episode title was Talented and Talentless, right? So yeah, at this point, I'm pretty sure he does have a talent, because it was thing I was a little bit curious about, like maybe they're both talentless, but have different perspectives on how to deal with the talented. But at this point, you know, the whole immortality scene, that alone makes it pretty clear that he probably has some sort of talent. Like, it's hard to doubt it at that point. But just the title, talented versus talentless, that also was a pretty big hint, because obviously the two words were referring to the two of them, because that's where the focus of the episode was. It would make no sense otherwise. So yeah, that even without the immortality thing, I probably would have still come to the conclusion that he's talented because of that. But yeah, that's kind of, that could be the name of the show, I think. Talented versus Talentless. That really could be the name of it. But yeah, he has very much framed himself in the position of being her greatest enemy. So, you know, even though they're friends, sort of. But yeah, that final scene was just so good. I kind of want to watch it a couple more times. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. So thank you for watching. Like I said, if you enjoy my stuff, please click the like button to support me on Patreon. It really helps a lot. And I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.